welcoming you to our chair yoga for the care of Waldenstrom's class. I'm here with a large and diverse group of folks, over 30 people here from all over the world. And we're here to connect with each other, move and breathe, address the lived experience of Waldenstrom's that may include things like fatigue, peripheral neuropathy, maybe anxiety, maybe stress. And just to get our bodies moving, the lymph fluid moving, the blood moving, and the prana flowing, right? That's my inner yoga teacher coming out to talk about prana. So let's get started as we always do by finding a comfortable upright posture that will allow you to sample some deeper breathing. Maybe you get deeper, maybe you don't. There's no pressure. And I'm just going to maybe do a little movement here before I get into my internal space, just lifting my shoulders up, back, and down. Maybe I want to flubber my lips or move my head from side to side. Anything to kind of just shake off the moments that led me to this moment. Maybe I want to take a moment to kind of look around my space and see that I am in community with all of these other friends, that I'm not alone, and that I'm here to take really good care of myself. All right. So let's dive in to some breathing and centering. I'm going to start by rocking my feet a little bit on the earth, or just noticing the connection. Maybe it's my seat on the chair that feels more anchoring and grounding. And I'm just going to send a little awareness down into the earth that will help root me here, help ground me here. My mind wants to wander off in so many directions. So I'm just kind of sending a little anchor down. And then from here I might notice the length in my spine. I might make any adjustments to how I'm sitting to feel that length and to allow a little bit of ease to come into joints like the jaw, the shoulders. I'm just going to let my hands rest, my arms rest. And if it's in your practice today, you could also close the eyes. Coming into our practice exactly as we are, perfectly imperfect, and beginning to notice the feeling of breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. They could be short or long breaths, whatever feels best. Creating space for yourself to arrive. Mentally just leaving behind all the moments that led us to this one so that we can maintain an awareness that will help carry us through our class. And now, just very briefly, I'm going to notice what the breath feels like at the front of my body. Where and how do I feel my breath in the front of my body? And I might just take a few curious breaths, noticing the front of my body. Maybe wandering around to the sides of my body when I'm ready. Exploring that sense of movement of the breath, the sides of the body. Maybe it's the rib cages. And then coming around to the back, can you feel your breath in the back of your body? And then once again, noticing my anchor points or point, and the place where I can lift up a little higher, and breathing into this fullness of my whole body. 3 bountiful breaths. I am here. I am present. And I am safe. And when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open if you had them closed. And maybe take a moment to see what it would feel like to smile, even if you don't feel like smiling. Use those muscles to smile for a moment. And I'm so excited, we're going to be having our Laugh for the Health of It class in early August. So I'm getting us ready by just exercising the smile muscles. And then we'll move also some other parts of the head and neck. So I might just open my mouth, let that jaw release. Maybe my eyes can widen. Maybe I want to stick out my tongue. Create a little exhale. Blink my eyes really definitively a few times. Squinch my eyes. Any other facial movements that would feel good. And then we'll get into a little head and neck. Yeah, simulating a yawn. Or maybe it's not a simulation for you, right? Taking that sip of water if you need it. So all you need for today's class is your body and a place to sit, some water perhaps, and each other. So let's begin with some head movement. Just going to tilt my right ear towards my right shoulder. And as I do this, I'm actually going to just let my arms rest at the sides, let them be heavy. Come on back to center, taking a breath. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good, breathing to center. Tilting right ear, right shoulder. You got it, inhale, center. Exhale to the other side, and you can move from side to side a few more times at your own pace, just being curious. What does this feel like for me today? Taking that little step back, removing any judgment from the equation if possible. And if it felt okay to me, I might begin to circle that head like there's a beam of light coming out of the top of the head, drawing a circle on the ceiling. Arms are still resting at the sides, shoulders are soft. And I'm just exploring the range of motion in my neck. Breathing, noticing what I can notice. Moving in the other direction when I'm ready. Yeah, maybe there's an area that is saying, massage me. Go ahead and get on in there and give yourself a little TLC if that's the case, my friends. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center. Let's open the arms out to the sides, palms facing forward, And here we are with the hearts lifted, welcoming each other to this space. Could not do this without you. We do not heal in a vacuum. And then give ourselves a hug. One arm on top, doesn't matter which. I could tuck my chin. Give myself a little inner cheerleading for showing up. Breathing in, opening, heart is lifted, welcome. Breathing out, giving myself a hug, opposite arm on top, tucking the chin. I'm going to do this a few more times at my own pace and just explore what this movement feels like to me. Maybe notice how I feel this in my spine. Remembering to change which arm is on top. And I could take maybe one more. And go in for one more really juicy hug here. And another little, maybe something nice, internal language to oneself. It's something that I have to actually practice. And then releasing the arms. So let's bring just the right arm out. I'm going to tilt my left ear away from the arm and begin to circle that palm. So circle that arm, moving ever downward. It's like I'm defining my space today. All this space over here on the right side of me, that's my self-care space. Tucking my arm behind my back and just letting that be soft. Finding a breath, infusing any of those areas you feel tension with a little bit of that softening exhale. You got it. And if it's too much, don't do it, right? Do not push through pain or discomfort. On my account, you're not going to get gold stars. Let's bring that left arm out and tilt the right ear away from the arm, circling the palm. Could be little baby circles. Could be big circles, the arm moving ever downward. Defining my space once again. This is my space to take care of myself, to heal, to just be. Right? I could be a total mess. That would be fine. And I'm going to bring my arm behind my back or rest the hand or wrist on the hip. Just let the stretch, let the time do the work. Let gravity do the work. Right? Tilting my right ear towards that right shoulder and just letting the shoulders relax. You've got it. All right, I'm coming back. And just noticing that those simple movements, a little bit of facial work, a little bit of neck movement, a little bit of arm movement, just do wonders. This could be like my little warm-up that I just did before doing something, and that would be awesome. Let's move into a bit more spinal movement. So I'm going to sit up in my chair, feet on the earth, and I might just slide my hands forward a little bit, tucking my chin, pulling my belly towards my spine so my pelvis kind of tips back a little bit. Don't push through discomfort or pain if you have back issues. And I'm going to avoid rounding if I have severe osteoporosis. And if I don't, I might round my spine a little bit. Sitting up tall, I'll draw my elbows back, lift my heart, maybe lift my chin, and that pelvis can tip forward. And I'm just going to move back and forth between these two movements, perhaps rounding and perhaps arching the back as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. Just going as far as feels good to you. Maybe it's just a little movement today. And I might kind of notice my pelvis here and imagine the pelvis is like a bowl tipping forward, tipping back as I do this. Spilling its contents out of the front when I lift my heart, spilling its contents out of the back when I tuck my chin. And I could do maybe one more round of that. And then I'm going to go for my nice sip of water here, whatever you have. It's a hot day in a lot of the world. And then we'll come to sit with a little bit of a wider stance. So maybe separating the feet, the legs apart a bit, coming to the edge of the chair. Sitting up tall. And imagining that I'm maybe sitting in a pool of water. And I don't want a lot of ripples here in the water as I do my torso circles. So I'm leaning forward, to the side, to the back. And once again, I'm noticing that pelvic bowl, tipping forward, tipping back. And I'm really refining my interoception in this class today. Like really taking it to an intricate degree of what I can experience on the inside with just small movements. Flowing with my breath. Welcoming you, Ginger. So glad you're here. Coming back the other direction, trying not to create too big of a ripple in my imaginary water. Keeping my waters serene. Tipping forward, tipping back with that pelvic bowl. And then gradually coming back to my center. I might take a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly, and I'm breathing in, filling up the front of my body with my breath, and I'm breathing out, creating a humming sound like that of a bee. I'm here, I'm present, I'm safe. For one more. And then releasing the arms down. I'm going to bring my right arm out to the right and just explore a little side bends, arm lifting up just a little part of the way. And coming back, we're going to stay on this side for a little while. So I'm getting into this side bend gradually, lifting that right arm up and over, maybe a little higher, coming back to center. Right arm reaching up and over. Maybe I lean to the left a little more, still anchoring through my feet, through my seat, flowing 2 more times on the right side. See if you can lift up the sails of the rib cage with the breath. Very good. And then releasing and switching sides. The left arm lifting just part way, coming back down. Taking the gradual approach, dipping the toe in the pool before we dive in. What would that feel like to be more gradual? To give myself permission to go more slowly. Breathing, reaching up and over, leaning to the right. Couple more times. Lifting the rib with the breath. Yeah, and when you slow it way down, it's actually so much harder. Not that I want to make it harder. Both arms now out to the sides. I'm giving myself one more big hug here. And then releasing my arms down. Let's go ahead and walk the feet back in. And I'm going to bring my arms at the ready to take a little march with you. So I'm lifting opposite arm, opposite leg, marching in place. It could be slow, it could be fast. I could have a little song that I'm humming internally. And I want to share with you guys, we gave my dad an amazing send-off this weekend in his memorial service. And the last song we sang, which was something he always sang and sort of said, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And to hear the piano rendition of that and the whole entire congregation singing was just amazing, uplifting. And it's such an earworm too. You'll never get it out of your head. So I'm marching opposite arm, opposite leg. Just wanted to get the blood and the lymph fluid flowing here. And I'm going to take a little breather. You got it, Joyce. Maybe 1 or 2 breaths. I could sigh it out the mouth. All right. And then I'm going to come back to my march. And this time I'm going to lift one arm and one leg and hold it and twist to the side whose leg is lifted. And then release. Switch sides. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Twist the torso to the leg who's lifted and come back down. Do this at your own pace. Don't forget to breathe. So I'm in my slow motion march and I'm putting a little more torso twist into this. And this sort of echoes the class we had with Mark. We were doing standing twisting balance and it was pretty hard. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of get the juices flowing here a little bit. All right, let's come back. And now I'm going to extend only the right leg out. And some of you were there asking questions about knees and how to strengthen them. This is it, right? This is something that Mark, our cancer rehab, physical trainer, exercise specialist recommended. Is your leg already shaking? Yes. Release, switch sides, lift that left leg out. Squeeze the muscle. This one's for you, Jennifer, in case you hadn't figured that one out already. And I'm sure you've already been doing these over the weekend. I might do that 1 or 2 more times on each side. And I notice when I hold it and I hold it and I stop breathing, I can start to tremble without that breath. Maybe 1 more on the left side. Beautiful. Now I'm going to incorporate the full leg extension with my march twist. Okay, so I'm marching in place. I'm just going to get the flow of that marching in place to start. Lifting opposite arm, opposite leg, marching in place. You've got it, Jim. Beautiful. And then I'm going to slow it down and hold and twist. Hold and twist. If I felt like it was doable for me, I could then add the full leg extension in my march. So kicking that leg all the way up, twisting to the leg that is lifted, keeping my nice tall spine, keeping my breath flowing. We'll do 1 more on each side. You hold as long as feels good to you. All right. Feeling that. Really feeling that. Okay, so now some of you were talking about peripheral neuropathy when we came in. And this may or may not be something that is accessible for everybody, but I do remember last week someone here said that it was very, very useful for their peripheral neuropathy. So we're going to extend the right leg long with the heel on the earth. And I'm going to pump the foot. All right, so whatever's possible here, pumping the foot, the toes might even touch the earth or peel back towards the face as far as feels good. Getting a really good stretch here. And if this is not accessible for you, I recommend crossing one leg over the knee and giving the lower limbs a little massage, right? Instead of foot pumps, if that's not something that works for you. And then we can switch it up, opposite side, left leg extended, heel on the earth, or maybe massaging the lower limb. Toes trying their best to touch the earth, toes trying their best to lift up towards the face. And I get a total of 5 good pumps. Going at my own pace, breathing, and being inwardly kind to myself. All right, very good. So now is the part of the class where we decide whether we feel like standing up. You could be having a low energy day. Maybe that's you. You want to stay seated. You're just not feeling it. If you are coming to stand, this is an opportunity to practice your mindful transition. And some of you like to do the sit to stand exercise. So that might mean you get up and you get back down a few times. Maybe you get up and get a sip of water. Maybe you stay seated. And we're not going to do too much standing stuff today, but I'm going to start off with a static hold of our chair pose. Okay, so Mark talked about isometric stretching, isometric exercises where you hold something. So when I bend my knees, so here I am, I'm standing, I'm holding onto my chair, bending my knees, shifting my hips back. What is my pelvic bowl doing? I'm hoping that it's not spilling its contents out the front too much, so I'm going to tip it back a tiny, tiny bit. I'm isometrically pushing my feet apart, so I've really ignited my glute muscles. And then from here, I could bring my arms off of the chair if I felt comfortable doing that. I could bring my hands to heart center, whatever feels good here. Holding it for maybe 3 breaths. If you have knee issues and this feels like too much, skip it. So I'm avoiding rounding my back. I'm tucking my chin, so I'm not leading with the chin. That's great. And then I'll come out of it. Oh, yes, that's a tough one. And I'm going to come to stand and just begin to shift my weight from side to side, swinging my arms, opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm not lifting my foot up off the earth. I'm only lifting my heels up off the earth. Getting a little foot massage here. And with this too, I might begin to slow it down, only lifting the heel and turning towards the side of the body whose leg is lifting. And adding a little twist to my march in place without lifting the whole leg or the whole foot up off the earth. And I'm getting a nice massage for the forefoot as well as I do this toe stretch. I might just do one more on each side. All right, nice job, guys. Separating the feet out a little bit wider. I'm going to let my arms dangle and swing as I turn my torso from side to side and keep my head facing forward. So I'm getting a little neck stretch as I do this. And maybe I can let the arms be so heavy that they sort of just hit where they hit. And I could feel that space opening up in some of the joints of the arms. Something that our Tai Chi teacher taught us, and one of these days we'll watch a replay. I promise, I promise, I promise. So many things in the calendar. So excited about all the new stuff, but I I can't forget about that. All right. So now we're going to practice just balancing on one leg. That would feel comfortable for you. So I'm going to take a little bendy bounce to my knees, hold on to my chair, pour the weight over into my right leg, pick up my left heel. Maybe I keep that toe on the ground. What's my pelvic bowl doing? Could I tip it back a little bit? Maybe I feel like lifting that leg all the way up and hugging it in, zipping up my core, doing what feels best to me. Working on finding where my edge is today. I could soften my gaze, my internal gaze. Find my breath. Let the wobble arise. And then when I'm ready, I'll come out of it, kick out that right leg, get the juices flowing again. And then we'll check out the other side. So a little bendy bounce. Take a little curtsy there with the knees. Pouring the weight over into the left leg. Picking up that right heel. Maybe you keep that right toe on the ground and pelvic bowl tipping back a little bit perhaps. Maybe I lift up the leg, zip up my core nice and tall. Maybe I'm exploring just leaving one finger on the chair. If I feel really, really balanced today, I might challenge myself by closing the eyes. Said no one ever, right? I don't know that I want to do that anytime soon, but that is something that I could strive for. Finding my breath, wobbling if I need to wobble, and then kicking it out. So often in our balance, I find that people want to lock it up and be rigid, when in fact being a little bit loose and wobbly could really help us. So case in point, we're going to get back to our marching in place. Opposite arm, opposite leg, you could be seated for this. Same deal as what we've been doing this whole class. I might slow it down and I might twist a little bit. If I felt unsafe doing this, I could hold on to my chair. I could only lift the heel up rather than the full leg. And I might try to hold there a little longer in my standing balance twist. So we're getting ready. Next time we see Mark, we'll be ready to do a balance twist. If you want to re-watch that class we did last week, after you do a little warm-up like this, that might be awesome. And when you're ready, we'll come to a downward dog using the chair, using the wall, however you'd like to practice this. Taking some steps back, hinging at the hip. Gaze is wherever feels best. If you've got glaucoma, keep it lifted. Got vertigo, keep it lifted. And now I'll invite you to notice the breath at the back of the body again. Coming up when you're ready and stepping just the right foot forward. The left foot is back at an angle and we're bending into the right knee for a warrior 1 foot stance. So we also did a lot of lunges in Mark's class with the toes pointing forward and the back heel lifted. You could be in a warrior 1 stance instead if you preferred. And so my torso is nice and upright. I'm going to lift just my right arm straight out in front and slowly bringing my right arm over to the right side. I'm twisting my torso, opening my right arm Now back behind me to whatever degree feels good. Squeeze that left glute muscle. Big breath in. Exhale, come back to center. And then I'm just going to switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. Bend into the left knee. Bringing my left arm straight in front of me and then slowly opening the left arm to the left, squeezing that right glute muscle, bringing that left arm behind me. Breath in. Exhale, follow the hand back. And step back into one more downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Walk yourself around to the front of your chair if you're not already there. Mindful transition to a seated posture. Maybe you take this moment to practice some good habits. Coming to the edge of my chair and crossing the right ankle over the left knee, if that would be possible for me. I could feel a lot of sensation as I am already, or if I want to feel more, I could lean forward, and I might also take this opportunity while I'm doing the hip stretch to massage whatever's available here in the right leg. I am here. I am present. I am safe. Maybe you're in the hip stretch. If you're not already there, you could come into that stretch. If you're ready to move to the twist, going towards that. So we sit up, cross that knee over, and twist the torso to the right side. Using the arms however feels good to support the twist. Slowly returning to center. And now placing the left ankle over the right knee, taking a moment to decide whether I just want to massage, or maybe I want to do the hip stretch, or maybe I want to do both at the same time. Kind of a one-stop shop. Or maybe I want to skip this one and do something else. All would be fine. Coming up, just sit when you're ready. If you need to spend more time there, go for it. Crossing my left knee over the right and taking that twist, using my torso muscles, to the left. Can I soften my jaw? Can I soften my shoulders? And then returning to center, taking one more stretch. Maybe you want to do a little stretch with the arms overhead, maybe the legs extended. Maybe you want to interlace the fingers, press the palms away, juice up the fingers, roll the wrists. Practicing letting go, doing. Letting go of doing. And coming into a state of pure being, inhabiting my body with my breath. Feeling the energy that I've generated through this practice. And just noticing what I can notice about my state of being. Maybe letting myself rest and float a moment longer. Bringing the hands or wrists to heart center. And in this moment, just sending out tendrils of connection to one another, knowing that we're not alone. And we can breathe in, feeling that support, that foundation. And we can breathe out and send that energy out. That energy of connection, vitality, understanding. Closing our session today with the sound of 1 Om and 3 Shantis for peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. Namaste.